Hello students, I am Dr. Krupa Rasne, Professor and Head ENC, Jain College of Engineering, Belgavi. This is basically the first video of Module 4 in Power Electronics BE 7th semester ENC Engineering. So this module basically refers to DC to DC converters or choppers, and the prescribed textbook is Mohammad H. Rashid, Power Electronic Circuit Devices and Applications. So coming to the introduction, a DC to DC converter, it is also known as a DC chopper. It's a static device which is used to obtain a variable DC output voltage from a constant DC voltage source. So input is a fixed DC source and output is a variable DC voltage. It is also known as a DC to DC converter or a DC equivalent to an AC transformer. So we are aware about AC transformers, step up and step down transformer in AC. That is, there is a primary winding and secondary winding. Primary we apply a fixed AC voltage, and secondary we can, if I have got many taps at the secondary, I can have a variable AC voltage at the output. This is very similar to that, except this is a DC transformer. So transformer works only for AC, normal AC transformer, but this is basically working on on-off control. So input will be a DC voltage and output will be a variable DC voltage. So the thyristor converter offers greater efficiency, faster response, lower maintenance, smaller size and smooth control. Coming to applications of choppers, they are widely used for traction motor control in electric vehicles, trolleys, cars, marine hoists, forklift trucks, and mine haulers. So a lot of applications, and they are also used for regenerative braking. That is, in electric vehicles, we can have a braking effect which returns the energy back to the supply, and this actually results in the saving of energy for transportation, which requires frequent stops. So these are basically can be applied for the you have the local train in Mumbai and all. So they have frequent stops. So stop and begin, stop and start. So here you can save energy by using the regenerative feedback braking method. The DC converters, when used in conjunction with an inductor, is also used as a DC current source, basically used in current source inverters. So in inverters, when we are seeing, that is the next module, you will realize you need a current source. And DC choppers, when used along with an inductor, it behaves like a DC current source. So coming to introduction, again, chopper types basically can be step down choppers and step up choppers. In step down choppers, the output voltage will be less than the input voltage, whereas in step up choppers, output voltage will definitely be more than the input voltage. This is how the name goes. So principle of step down chopper. Let us look at this step down chopper. So this is a figure that we are showing. So input is going to be a DC voltage which is fixed, such as a battery, and this is the chopper circuit. Now chopper basically consists here of we look at it as a switch on and off. So there are many elements inside. It is not consisting of single SCR, but we will show that single SCR with a dotted line. So it means that it's a chopper circuit complete. So here we represent it by this diagram, and we say that this is acting like a switch which turns on and off. So when this particular thyristor switch is on, basically it connects the load to the input, or the load will be getting the same voltage as the input when the switch is on. And when the switch is off, the output will be disconnected from the input, and when it is off, output will be 0. So when the switch is on, the input will be connected to the load. This is output load waveform. And when the switch is off, no voltage will be connected. So we can see there are two durations, T on and T off, and the total time is equal to T, which is equal to T on plus T off. So how does exactly the voltage get changed? So this is a fixed voltage. Output can be changed by controlling the period of time when it is on. Okay, so by varying this on and off, I can control the average voltage that comes at the output, which will definitely be less than this because I'm going to turn it off for some time, right? So that time there is no output, so output will be less than the input. So the figure shows a step down chopper with a resistive load. So you can see that the load is purely resistive, such as a heating element. The thyristor in the circuit acts as a switch. When the thyristor is on, the supply voltage appears across the load, and when the thyristor is off, the voltage across the load will be 0. The output voltage waveform is as shown in the figure. So you can see in the figure we have the on and off, on and off. This is the voltage that is coming at the output. So if I analyze the step down chopper with R load, I will have an on time and off time, and there is a period T, which we call it as a chopping frequency T. Okay, and we are assuming that there is no voltage drop across the switch, that is the chopper itself, when it is turning on. Okay, if there is a drop in the chopper, then we'll have to consider removing that drop. Okay, so input minus that drop will come at the output. So in this case, we are assuming that no voltage drop is there across the chopper. So whatever is at the input will appear at the output. And the current at the load can be evaluated by V by R. So the current also will be representing in this form. With the on time, current is going to flow. Off time, no current will flow. Okay, but the value is determined by the resistance of the value of the load. So the average output voltage, we say average or the DC output voltage can be evaluated, okay, by considering T is the control period, that is equal to T on plus T off. So let us see what are the different values. Let us say VDC or V naught. This is the average value of the output load voltage. IDC or I naught can be considered as the average value of the output or load current. T on is a time interval for which SCR conducts. T off is a time interval for which SCR is off. The total time period consists of T on plus T off, which is also called as the period of switching or chopping period. And F is equal to 1 upon T, which is called as the frequency of the chopper switching or chopping frequency. So how do I get the average output voltage? Obviously, output voltage is determined by how long the output is on and how long it is off. So output voltage will be given by the input voltage multiplied by T on upon T on plus T off. So if I increase T on, obviously this value will increase. If I decrease T on, obviously the value will decrease. So VDC, the average output voltage, can be evaluated as the input voltage multiplied by the on time divided by the chopping period or the chopper period T. That is equal to V into, I'll call this term as D, some people refer to as K. Okay, so that is nothing but the duty cycle. So what we know is output voltage is equal to the input voltage into the duty cycle. So if T on increases, duty cycle will increase and the output voltage will increase. If T on decreases, K or D will going to decrease and the output voltage will decrease. So IDC is basically evaluated by VDC by R. So we know IDC is equal to VDC is nothing but V into T on by T upon R. So I'll get V upon R into the duty cycle. So RMS value of the output voltage can be evaluated by taking the root mean square of by integrating V naught squared dt, okay, from 0 to T on, because V naught is equal to V only during the period of 0 to T on. During off, this value is 0. So by evaluating this, so during T on, V naught is same as input supply voltage. So I will write this as V naught equal to under the root sign 1 upon T integration 0 to T on V squared dt. So V naught is equal to, again, get V squared outside because it's a DC value, fixed value, constant. V squared upon T and integrated between 0 to T on. Okay, so that means it is T on itself. That is equal to root of T on upon T into V. V squared becomes V outside the root sign. So output voltage is nothing but root of the duty cycle into the input voltage. Whereas average voltage was V into D, right? Whereas RMS, okay, the RMS value is equal to root of D into V. Then we'll calculate the output power. Output power is V naught into I naught. But I naught is nothing but V naught upon R. We know that. So output power is equal to P naught is equal to this into this V naught squared upon R. Okay, so P naught is equal to dV squared upon R, they say, but you remember this, P naught is equal to V naught squared by R. The effective input resistance of the chopper. So the chopper will have an input resistance. So that will be evaluated by the input voltage divided by the DC current that is flowing. So Ri equal to R by D. Because we have got the on time and off time, the input voltage can be evaluated as R upon D. IDC, we know that it is equal to VDC by R. VDC is nothing but D into V. So V and V cancels and we will get R upon D. So the output voltage can be varied by varying the duty cycle. So this is how we evaluate the performance parameters of the chopper for a resistive feedback. Now coming to the type of control, the output DC voltage can be varied by the following methods. One is the pulse width modulation control or constant frequency operation, and the other is the variable frequency control. So one is constant frequency operation and the other is variable frequency operation. Constant frequency means T has to be fixed, and what you can change, you can either change T on or T off. Okay. And variable, of course, if I change T on, T off is also going to vary. But remember, the time period has to be fixed. Whereas here, variable frequency control, you can change the period T by keeping either T on or T off fixed. So pulse width control, you can see here, this is T on and this is T off, right? So T on and T off. So T on can be varied, okay? Whereas I want to keep T fixed. So if I increase T on, obviously T off will be reduced and total period T will be fixed. So the maximum on time that will be possible is equal to T only in this case. So T on is varied, keeping the chopping frequency F and the chopping period T constant. Output voltage is varied by varying the T on time from 0 to the period maximum T. So this is your pulse width modulation where I keep the time period fixed and I control the output by controlling the on time of the waveform. And since the pulse width is changing, I name it as pulse width modulation, or I also called it as constant frequency control. Next is variable frequency control. In this case, the chopping frequency T will be variable. See, if you see in this case, the T on is this much, T off is almost same as T on, and the total period T is T on plus T off. Okay. In the second control, I have kept T on fixed, but I have kept the T off small. So what happens is T will decrease. So in this case, the time period, chopping period is not fixed. Unlike earlier, here it is variable, but what will be fixed is the on time of the chopper. Okay. So chopping frequency f is varied by either I keep T on or T off. One of these parameters to be fixed. The other can be variable. In this case, I have kept T on fixed. And hence, as I vary T off, right, the time period is going to change. To obtain full output voltage range, frequency has to be varied over a wide range. But this type of control is not very accurate, or it's not very easy to control, because T on is going to be there for some time. So full range control will be difficult to obtain. This method produces harmonics in the output, and also for large T of load current may become discontinuous. So this is not an advisable kind of a chopper control, and the first one, that is the fixed frequency or fixed period control, is more utilized. Now let us look at a problem. The DC chopper, right? The step down, with the one we have just studied, it has a resistive load R equal to 10 and an input voltage Vs equal to 220 volts. When the chopper switch remains on, its voltage drop. Now in this case, we are saying that the chopper itself has a voltage drop of 2 volts. So obviously, when the load is not going to be getting the complete input voltage, some voltage drop will be across the chopper, and hence the output voltage will be input minus the chopper drop. Remember that. And the chopping frequency is f equal to 1 kilohertz. If the duty cycle is 50%, determine the average output voltage, the RMS output voltage, right? The chopper efficiency and effective input resistance of the chopper, and also the RMS value of the fundamental component of the output harmonic voltage. Okay, so let's see how this can be done. So basically, what all is given to you? Vs is given. We know it is 220 volts. Remember, Vs is always the RMS value. Oh, sorry, this is the DC value. Okay. K, or nothing but the K, I told you, we represented it with the D. I'm using both values because some books refer to it as D, some book refer to as K. Rashid has referred to it as K. K is nothing but the duty cycle, and we have said 50%, so I'll keep it as 0.5. R is given as 10 ohms and VCH is equal to 2 volts. So this is the voltage drop across the chopper. We know the average voltage formula is what? K into the voltage that comes at the output. So input was 220 and the chopper drop is 2. So 220 minus 2, I'll get around 109 volts. Remember to minus this because in our derivation earlier, we considered VCH to be 0. Next, RMS voltage, we have to take root 2 times the duty cycle into, of course, 220 minus 2. So that will give you 154.15 volts. Now to evaluate the output power we know can be evaluated from 0 to T on. T on can also be written as duty cycle into the period T. So that is equal to V naught squared upon R. And if I integrate it, V naught squared as Vs minus VCH upon R. Okay. So this will be K into Vs minus VCH the whole squared upon R. So P naught will be equal to duty cycle into this, substitute these values, 220 minus 2 upon 10, and I should be getting the P naught as 2376.2 volt watts. And the input power, because we want to know the efficiency, that is output by input efficiency. I am calculating the input power of the chopper, can be found by the input supply voltage into the current. Okay. So we know that input, and of course between 0 to T on. As I said, T on is same as K into T. So this is equal to 0 to Kt into Vs. I can be represented as Vs minus Vch by R, because the input current is nothing but the same as the load current. And this will, by solving this, I will be getting K into this term outside the bracket. And this can be represented by K as 0.5 into 220 into 220 minus 2 divided by 10, and you should be getting 2398 watts. Note the input power is slightly more than the output power. So the efficiency is nothing but the output power upon input power, and I will be getting 99.09%, which is quite good. Okay. We know that Ri can be evaluated by Ri divided by the duty cycle 0.5, and I get it as 20 ohms. Then the output voltage as shown in the figure can be represented by the Fourier series. So they want to know the fundamental component, right? So to express it in Fourier series, we have to use this formula. We have done this. So Fourier series represents by a constant value VDC, that is K into Vs, plus the fundamental components summation equal upon n equal to 1 to infinity, and this will be the sine cos term and this will be the cos sine term. So substituting n equal to 1, okay, we can determine from the above equation. Okay, so put n equal to 1 and we get the values sine of 2 pi k, cos of 2 pi ft, plus Vs by n pi. N is 1, so Vs by pi is outside. Okay, plus 1 minus cos 2 pi k into sine of 2 pi f into t. Now we can substitute all the known values. Vs is 220 into 2 divided by pi. This is sine 2 pi into 1000. Okay, so this you'll have to find it sine cos term, right? And you'll be getting 2 pi into 1000 t. So you get the answer as solving it. So this is sine cos, cos sine term. Solve it and you will be getting it 140.06 sine 6283.2 times, and it to t. And its RMS value will be V1 equal to 140.06 into by divided by root 2, because this is the peak value Vm. So I have divided by root 2, I'll be getting 99.04 volts. So in this particular video, we have been dealing with DC to DC converter. We have introduced the concept, what is DC to DC converter, its applications. We have also seen the principle of step down operation and its analysis with R load. And we have completed this video with an example problem. In the next video, we'll be looking into the principle of step down operation with RL load. Okay. So thank you, and if you have any questions, please get back to me.